With only a few months away from the presidential election of 2024, in this video we are going to be looking at the most recent polls from Decision Desk headquarters, or from The Hill. So, with our first state, let's get started with Iowa. Donald Trump currently leads Biden in Iowa by 3.1%. And this is not factoring RFK, or Robert F. Kennedy Jr., for those who don't know. So, since Donald Trump is currently being Biden by 3.1%, it doesn't technically make it a safe state or a likely. It would put it as a lean or tilt. But when you factor in RFK Jr., the Donald Trump's lead will actually grow in Iowa. So with that, I actually am going to mark Iowa as a likely towards Donald Trump. The next state we are going to be looking at is Ohio. Donald Trump beats Joe Biden by 8.4%, and this is with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. with Kennedy. So by 8.4%, that Donald Trump will win Ohio by a likely margin. The next state we are going to be looking at is New Hampshire. Donald Trump is currently beating Joe Biden in New Hampshire by 0.9%, so basically 1 percentage point. And Kennedy is pulling in 5.7% of the vote. So New Hampshire will go to Donald Trump as a tilt margin. The next state we have to look at is Virginia. Joe Biden is beating Donald Trump in Virginia by 1.1%. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is not in this poll. There's not one with him in the poll. So, Joe Biden will win Virginia by a tilt margin. The next state we are looking at is Minnesota. Joe Biden is currently beating Trump in Minnesota by 1.5 percentage points. Joe Biden won the state of Minnesota by 7 percentage points. And then Donald Trump lost the state in 2016 by like 1.5. So 1.5 to 7%, and now it's back to down to 1.5 for Biden taking Minnesota. And this poll does not factor in Kennedy. So Minnesota will be going to Joe Biden as a tilt margin for 2024 so far. Yep, so Minnesota 2024 will be going to Joe Biden. Now, Nevada, next state, very big swing state. Trump is actually beating Biden by 5.7%, 43% to 38%, and Kennedy is pulling in 7.8% of the vote. But let me just tell you this: if Kennedy wasn't in it, his lead is 4.5%. So it goes to 4.5 to 5.7. It grows a little bit. Donald Trump's lead in Nevada grows by quite a few points, or percentage points. So with that, Nevada will be going to Donald Trump as a tilt margin. The next swing state we are looking at is Florida. Donald Trump is beating Joe Biden by 6.8% in Florida, and this is including Kennedy. And 6.8% is not considered a safe margin. It will be considered a likely. Sorry, my whole thing moved on me. The next sort of swing state is Texas. Not so much a swing state. However, Trump will be beating Biden by 9.1% in Texas. And Kennedy only polls 6.9% of the vote. 47% to 37.9%. Texas will be going to Donald Trump by a safe margin, considering the margin of error that they would have had. So I will mark, actually, you know what? I'm going to mark Texas as a likely. Texas will be going as a likely to Donald Trump. Next state we have to look at is North Carolina. Trump has a 5.2% lead against Biden in North Carolina. And Kennedy pulled 7.3% of the vote. So 43.9. So basically 44% to 38.7 to 7.3. 5.2% is considered a lean margin. Is a lean towards Donald Trump. It leans Republican. The next swing state that we have is Donald Trump won it in 2016, lost in 2020. It is the state of Wisconsin. Trump has a lead of 2.2% against Biden in Wisconsin, and Kennedy is pulling 7% of the vote away from both candidates. However, Donald Trump still contains the lead in Wisconsin. And with it only being 2.2%, I feel like Wisconsin will go to Donald Trump as a lean margin, as well as North Carolina. The next state we have is the pretty big battleground state of Michigan. Donald Trump is only beating Joe Biden by 0.9%, and Kennedy is only pulling 6.3%. So 42.6% for Donald Trump and 41.7% for Joe Biden. Let's see what that looks like if we only have Biden versus Trump. Joe Biden has the lead 0.4% against Donald Trump. But when you factor in Robert F. Kennedy Jr., both the numbers drop, but Trump takes the lead then in Michigan. So Michigan will be going to Donald Trump as a tilt margin. The next state we have is the pretty big swing state, Georgia. Donald Trump won it in 2016, lost it by like 0.3 percentage points in 2020. Yeah, I hope I said Donald Trump. Donald Trump lost Georgia in 2020, and he is currently leading by 4.3%. And Kennedy is only polling 6.9%. It's interesting how Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is only polling 6.9% of the vote. I feel like that should be a little higher. I feel like more people are going to vote for Kennedy over Biden and Trump. But a little bit more. I'm not saying he's going to win the election. I just feel like it should be a higher number. But Georgia will be going to Donald Trump as a lean margin. The next state we have is the state of Arizona. Donald Trump is currently beating Joe Biden by 8% in Arizona. 45.4% to 37.4%. So he's beating him by 8% exactly. And Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is actually pulling 7.8% of the vote. That's, I think, the highest we've seen of him yet in any swing state or any state. So Donald Trump will be taking the state of Arizona as a likely margin. And the last and final state that we have for today is Pennsylvania. Let me get on it real quick. Pennsylvania. Donald Trump is currently leading Joe Biden in the state of Pennsylvania by 3.1%, 45.1 to 42%. And Kennedy is only pulling 5.5% of the vote. Now, I feel like that is pretty low, especially for a very big swing state like Pennsylvania. And when you take out RFK, Trump still has the lead, but this time it's 4%. So 48.7 to 44.7, and then when you factor in Kennedy, his lead actually goes down in Pennsylvania. But however, Pennsylvania will still be going to Donald Trump, no matter what, who it's going against, according to the poll. So that we will mark Pennsylvania as a lean towards Donald Trump. And there we have it. 316 electoral votes for Donald Trump and 222 for Joe Biden, with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. as an independent running with both of them. This outcome might have changed if we didn't add RFK Jr., but I wanted to add him because he's running, and I wanted to see how states are going to be voting and who they prefer over the other candidate. And this is how the states or the polls think these states will go. All the swing states right here. Donald Trump takes and recovers every swing state that he lost in 2020 back, and he gains a state, New Hampshire. So he gains one extra, or a couple extra electoral votes. He gains 4. That is it for this video, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe as we are approaching 100 subscribers, and we will see you in the next video. RAP out.